Hello, everybody, and welcome to Carnivore Better Life. My name is Jack Shepherd, and today we are going to be talking about a video from Joe Rogan. This is my 7th episode on my playlist, and I found this video right after watching the Why Does It Work So Well, the Carnivore Diet. And I was like getting curious and wanted to know what Joe Rogan's take on it was, what his experiences with it was. And I found a video. This video is called Joe Rogan Reports Back After 1 Month on Carnivore Diet. And it has a lot of good information in it. It is 4 years old, so it's getting quite old, but it still has some really valid information in it that are very important. And I want to talk about this video. So with no further ado, let's jump into the video and let's see what he says. All right, let's take a look at the video here. So first we are gonna open up the tab here so you guys can see what video we're talking about. This is the video that he recorded 4 years ago, where he talks about the carnivore diet and what happened after 1 month. It is 4 years old, as I said, so it's a while back, but it's pretty amazing. He has like 7.2 million views on it and a lot of likes. And this is kind of a big stepping stone for like a lot of people to get into the diet, to actually make the experiences that he also did. But yeah, we're gonna get into the video. Before we do that though, I'm gonna shortly plug my own channel here. If you haven't already, guys, please go to Rumble and check out my Carnivore Better Life channel. We are also on YouTube, and this is how the channel looks. We got a few playlists. We got a playlist for my carnivore experience, like how I started on carnivore and how it's going, my carnivore journey. That's it. And then we have some live streams that I've also been doing to kind of help people get on the right track. Yeah, if you haven't checked it out yet, guys, please go check it out. It's kind of amazing. But let's jump back into the video here. So I prepared a few clips for you guys. So I am gonna open that up right here, like so. There we go. And yeah, let's play this video. We're gonna play it from the beginning. Hopefully the audio is good.
Good. Right. Be a role model for you to get healthy. We can all get healthy.
Yeah, let's get healthy.
Tom's bread. Eat only meat.
Just don't eat it all the time. You just don't eat this all the time.
Yes. Well, I didn't gain any weight this weekend.
Yeah.
I didn't gain any weight. I ate all that shit, and then I fasted Sunday night until Monday. I went to yoga Monday morning. Didn't eat till right before my first podcast, and I didn't gain any weight at all.
That's great.
Yeah, it's
moderation.
It's eating like shit.
No moderation.
But what was interesting was the pains, back pain, knee pain.
What is that?
It's inflammation. It's inflammation.
Right.
Your body does not want to have to process all that stuff, and they think that maybe the root for many people of a lot of causes of pain and discomfort is just inflammation, heavy diet.
Right.
Sugar.
Right.
Sugar is the big one.
So if you get all of that out of your system, your body can go to work on the stuff it has to go to work on?
Yeah, you get all that shit out of your system, and your body doesn't experience inflammation from your food.
Right.
So there's a few things here right from the beginning. So first of all, he does intermittent fasting, which means that he only eats 2 times a day, and then he has a long period where he doesn't eat anything. It's very important because it kind of helps your body get rid of anything you might have picked up that it didn't really appreciate. His friend says moderation because he doesn't know, but for most people, moderation doesn't work. So I just want to point that out because it's not about moderation. When you're on a carnivore diet, you eat until you're comfortably full. If you eat only meat, right? Meat and fat. And then it should take care of the rest. You don't need to worry about moderation, as he says. Unless I'm misunderstanding what he's saying, but I don't think I am. Just wanted to put that in there. It's like a little bit different. Joe doesn't really touch upon it, but it's kind of an important detail. Let's continue.
When you have no carbohydrates, one of the things that's most amazing is that there's no crashing. You would eat and you don't feel any different after you ate other than the fact that you don't feel hungry.
Right.
Like you don't crash.
Right.
There's no ups and downs and peaks and valleys. My energy levels were amazing.
Really?
God,
How
extra
quickly?
energy.
How quickly?
2 weeks in.
2 weeks.
2 weeks in, I noticed I felt amazing.
Really?
And I was shedding weight. I was shedding a lot of weight. I think it was like 7 pounds down 2 weeks in.
Jeez.
Now I'm 12 pounds down, 12-ish, something like that. I was 193 this morning. I was weighing about 205 before I started this diet.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
I feel a lot better. Like a lot better.
Really?
Yeah.
So what would you recommend? Would you recommend people just do that, or do you think you
I think for people who have
that?
an autoimmune disorder, I do believe there are certain people that have an adverse reaction to some plants, some foods. That's what an elimination diet is all about. It's like trying to find out what are the things that bother you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. The carnivore diet is a really good elimination diet. You will see benefits almost immediately when you start after 3 days or something. And then you need to get over like a certain point. And then you'll see a lot of benefits because you're eliminating everything else that you're eating. You're only eating meat and fat and maybe a few dairy products and eggs. That's it, right? So you are actually eliminating all the plants and all the sugars that you're eating. And certain forms of plants you might not be able to digest. For instance, like I have a gluten issue. I don't have an allergy, but I have a gluten resistance, I think, or not resistance. I have an issue with gluten. So if I eat gluten, my stomach hurts and I get bloated, and it can be really bad for some people. I think that's what they call an autoimmune response to something. So yeah, you could be eating something specific that's really bad for your body, and you get like a reaction for it. And this kind of exclude all that. So it's actually, for an exclusion diet, carnivore diet is one of the best ways to figure that out. I can talk more about that later, but yeah, it's pretty accurate, I would say. Like, it's really good.
But for me, it's like what I did is I just took a lot of multivitamins. I took a bunch of different vitamins and nutrients and supplements on top of this carnivore diet. So I'm only eating meat, but then I'm taking all the essential vitamins and amino acids, and I'm also taking fish oil. So I'm covering all my nutritional.
You don't have to do that. There's a very simple way to get the nutrients and the vitamins that you need. Essentially, just animal organs has everything you need, except for salt. Of course, you need to eat enough salt and maybe some electrolytes. But all the nutrients and like vitamins you need are in animal organs, so you don't need to take those supplements. It's not needed.
Bases.
But I can understand why you would want to try and cover your bases, as he says, like just to be sure that you don't that you're not going to be lacking in anything. But there are ways to get what you need and not take supplement pills.
Right.
But I'm not doing it with food. I'm not doing it with plants. Yeah. I'm only eating grass-fed meat, and then I'm elk, and then on top of that, I'm taking.
Funny fact: I've never had elk. I don't know how that tastes, actually. That might be something I need to try out.
And fat from like bacon. Like bacon, I needed fat because elk in particular is very lean. If I'm only eating elk, if I eat grass-fed beef, I'm fine. But with things like elk, you really do need some extra sources of fat.
If you don't have fat, would you start to feel bad?
Yeah, your body doesn't like it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, your body does not want a low-fat diet with low carbohydrates.
Specific on the fat. When you eat only meat and fat, you have to experiment with how much fat you need, because it's the only fuel your body is going to get. And if you don't get enough fat, your body is going to feel horrible. So I highly recommend using butter or ghee, ghee, to put on top of your steak or something like that. It really makes it more fatty, and it gives you the fat and the energy that you need. So and even sometimes at the butcher, go buy some, when you buy your meat, just ask if you can get some of the fat that he cut away. He will gladly give it, maybe for free even. Like, it's usually something that they throw away. So definitely do that, and it will give you a lot more energy every day, for sure.
But so if you could balance it, so would you say maybe 80%?
This is what I would say. Try it. Just try
it
a
straight
carnivore
out.
diet. Try it straight out.
Right.
And I think you'll be amazed at how good you feel. Now, here's the thing: is that a honeymoon thing? Like, what is it like if you extend that to 90 days or 365 days?
It's great. It only gets better. Let me just say that right now. Not trying to spoil or anything, but we'll talk about this after the video. But yeah, it continues.
You're gonna feel like shit eventually.
Right.
Is it gonna start breaking your body down?
Right.
I don't know. I only have experience in 30 days. But in my experience in 30 days, it was enormously beneficial.
You did say something in your post about a explosive diarrhea.
Oh,
it needs to have a new name. Diarrhea is not strong enough for what I was experiencing.
For real?
Yeah, it was like someone was tapping into an oil well.
Ah, jeez.
I have pictures.
man.
So why was that happening?
Well, I talked to Dr. Sean Baker. He wrote a book on the carnivore diet. He's a physician that's a carnivore diet advocate. He's been eating this way for 2 years.
2 years?
Yep. And he seems to think that it has to do with the colon adjusting to the fact your body doesn't have any dietary fiber. So you're not taking in any rice or bread or anything that's going to absorb the water. So your body's like, what do I do with all this liquid? It's going out the asshole.
But so it's not exactly the experience that I had. So I think because he jumped into it cold turkey, he didn't do like 2 weeks of preparing where you slowly adjust your body. I think his digestive system reacted a little violently. It definitely sounds like it, like comparing it to an oil well and all that. But yeah, if you ease your body into it by in the first 2 weeks before you start your carnivore diet, you won't get as bad of a experience as he had there. But I will say this: if you think you're gonna fart, it's not a fart. Let's just say that. Just go to the bathroom, because you are eating a lot of fat, and the fat actually adds. It's like a lubricant, right? It's like it lubricates your digestive system, so it will become much easier for you to go to the bathroom. My opinion on fiber is that you don't need fiber at all, and I think he's on the same side. He just thinks there's like a period where it switches off. The thing with fiber is that when you eat fiber, you eat fiber and the fiber comes out again, right? So fiber can't be digested in any way, so it doesn't really have an impact on that. It just like packs. Oh shit! I hit my microphone. It just packs the poop in and then sends it out, and it's very good at absorbing like sugar. So if you eat bad stuff, you can eat fiber to not absorb as much of it. But that's another thing. But I don't think it's. I mean, it is because your body needs to adjust to it, because it will adjust to it. But it doesn't have to be as explosive as that. Just do like 2 weeks before you start your carnivore diet, where you slowly eat more and more meat and fat, and then slowly cut away the other things. That way, when you start your carnivore diet, it will be way easier to do, and you won't feel the pressure. Excuse the pun here, but you won't feel the pressure that he felt. Yeah, there's also another thing he's going to talk about here in a second. So let's see.
How long did that last?
Around 2 weeks.
Yeah,
2
around
weeks?
2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks of rocket fuel coming out of your booty hole.
Ah, jeez.
But if you get through it, through it. And Tom Segura is going through it right now.
He is?
Yeah,
man.
He sent me a text the other day saying, this diarrhea is astounding.
Oh, no.
Oh, astonishing. That's what he said.
Astonishing.
Oh,
Oh, god damn.
Coffee, is it? Because you guys both drink coffee. I'm just asking, just a general question. I mean, 'cause I know you guys both intake a lot.
Bro, it could be
Just go right
all
through
kinds
you.
of liquids.
Yeah.
Whatever kinds of liquids are coming out of your butt. It's not normal.
I was.
Yeah. So coffee definitely makes it worse. Let me just say that right now. If you're drinking coffee in the morning, by the way, a good little trick: if you're drinking coffee and you can't put sugar in anymore, like don't cut the sugar, don't put sugar in. Just put a little bit of butter inside in your coffee instead, and it will give you the nice taste that you usually have. It will also give you a kickstart of energy when you start your day. So yeah, a little bit of butter is kind of nice. But if you drink coffee, it will definitely make your stomach. It will make it more explosive. Let's just say that. And it might also like take a longer time for your body to adjust. So just keep that in mind. Me personally, I started out with coffee, but then I did like every second day I would drink a cup of coffee instead, so I wouldn't overdo it. But the funny thing about Carnivore is that like it changes your energy, so you don't really need the coffee anymore. I don't need the coffee anymore at this moment. But if you really like something hot in the morning and you like your coffee, there's nothing wrong with drinking some coffee. I think just be aware that in the beginning it will definitely impact your stomach. Let's just say that. It usually goes quite fast though, so just be aware of that.
Really getting excited about trying this.
But here's the thing: at the end of that, it all goes away.
Right.
I mean, at the end of 2 weeks, my body adjusted, and now it's not a problem at all.
Really?
Yeah, not a problem at all.
It's not like, come on, have ice cream with us.
No.
Nice.
No, boy, that'd be a problem if she was.
Yeah.
You know, if it looks so good, like ice cream looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It was an eye opener. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Sorry. Here's the thing about that kind of stuff. You kind of have to commit.
Right.
Like if you just say, I'm going to try to eat healthier, it's too loosely defined.
I know.
So
Yeah, that's very important. So that was a bit of a rough cut right there from the toilet thing to desserts. When it comes to desserts, I personally have a big issue with anything involving my childhood. So things that I ate a lot as a child, something I was introduced to very early, has a huge impact on me. One of them is ice cream. As Joe Rogan here, I love ice cream. Another thing is something called Giffles, which is essentially a little cake with like vanilla and some other stuff and things. It's like I usually ate those in the morning. Whenever I see those bags in the supermarket, I have to go like a big circle around it because it's like a magnet for me. Now I have been doing Carnivore for 5 months, so and even after 5 months, it's still in my mind. So I still have to be really careful when I go past those, especially if there's like an offer on them. It's like, no, goddamn. And then the last thing that's big for me that I just found out, I didn't know that it actually was a draw. But we have like Halloween buns, I think they're called. It's like a Danish Halloween. We call it fastelavn, which is essentially a cake with like cream inside of it. It's like a soft bread with like cream inside of it. I guess that's the best way to explain it. And there's like some chocolate or something on top of it. And those things are like a huge freaking magnet for me too. I wasn't aware of it. So you have to be careful. There will be some pitfalls, especially with things that you ate as a child. But you have to be dedicated. You have to have your carnivore snacks ready if that happens. In my case, I eat salami sticks. Or I have a little bit of cheese. I actually, within the last 2 weeks, last 2 weeks, I've actually been cutting cheese away. So I'm only eating the meat snacks, and those help me when I get some kind of craving or get some kind of childhood memory. Because funny thing about Carnivore is that it makes your memory better. So even childhood memories become way more clear, which is kind of one of the long-term things that I will talk about in a minute. But yeah, he's absolutely right about that. You need to be very careful with the pitfalls, and they will happen. Everyone that has been living on a Western diet will have severe pitfalls. You just need to avoid them. You just have to do it.
knowing that for the month of January, that was all that I was going to eat, that really helps if you're going to try to stick to something, to have like a real solid schedule, like Sober October is another.
Setting goals and then sticking to them, and then when you reach your goal, then reevaluate and then make another goal. It's very important. You have to work out your timeline. You have to research the thing, and that's why the research is so important with this. Like, you have to research everything so you can plan it out. It makes your chance of success way higher. You have to do that.
Perfect example for me.
Lent.
Yeah, when we do Sober October, we have 1 month, no booze, no pot, no nothing.
Yeah.
There's something good about that, where you have that month.
Because it takes it out all that kind of mushy brain stuff of, but maybe I'll just now we're celebrating.
Yeah, we need a certain amount of rigidity occasionally. Yeah. And that's how you get shit done. Yeah. And I mean, even if you are like writing, if you said, I am going to write every day for the month of February. Yeah. You know, every day. Yeah. Like, there's something to that.
It's like the routine.
Yes, there's something really beneficial. I'm going to write for 1/2 an hour every day. If you do that, you get things done.
It's really true.
If you just decide, I'm going to go on a carnivore diet for the next 30 days starting right now, and just count down on your calendar 30 days from now, you'll fucking lose weight and you'll feel amazing.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's a way to eat all the time.
No, that's the thing. It's like, it seems like an extreme.
So I just want to say, like, if you set yourself a goal of saying, I want to do carnivore diet, I would recommend doing a 2-week preparation before that, where you slowly get used to it. But for some people, it's better to just do it cold turkey. Just be aware of the oil well that might happen. You might have to go to the bathroom quite often. But yeah, other than that, like it will work for some people. For me, it's better to ease into it and just, keep a clear mindset when you do it. Be aware of pitfalls that you might have, and then just, move from there, definitely. He's going to talk about doing it long term, and I kind of want to touch on that a little bit. So let's listen.
Same thing that I would not be willing to maintain.
Well, you're the bread master.
Well, that's the thing.
You're the sultan of sourdough.
That's why I want balance. I'm always searching for the right balance.
I think a great move is 6 days on, 1 day off.
No.
6 days on a rigid diet, 1 day where you look forward to eating bread and pasta and drinking whatever you want and, having ice cream, and 1 day.
No, so that's where I don't exactly agree with Joe here.
Good, be a role model for you to get.
I'm just gonna jump into the end here. I don't agree with the having a 1 day where you can eat whatever you want. That's a big mistake, because the thing with sugar, especially, is that it will reinforce the addiction, and I don't think you should do that, especially not with sugar. When it comes to plants and other things, it's not as bad, but the inflammation can take up to a month to disappear, or it can take like 3 days, depending on what it is. Now, if it's a month, you have some kind of issue with it, right? So you should probably cut it completely. But even 3 days, if you imagine that you do that every week, right? It will be like 3 days before you get like good again, and then it will stall your progression a lot. So I don't recommend doing a cheat day like that. I would actually recommend just, if you are gonna have cheat days like that you plan, make them once a year. So for instance, my cheat days is my birthday, which is one. It is Christmas Eve. We celebrate Christmas Eve in Denmark together with the family, and then it is New Year's. Those are the 3 days out of the year that I allow myself to cheat. So and those days everything goes. Whatever I want to eat, I will eat it. But I'm also very aware of the penalties for eating sugar and stuff, like how it impacts my body. So maybe I won't dive too deeply into it. And this has helped me a lot. I will say maybe one more cheat day that I would do would be like a company party, something like that, like a Christmas party or something. That might be an excuse to do it. Like, it's not too bad if it happens maybe 3 times a year, right? That's not too bad. But if you do that every week, it's going to reinforce your addiction to sugar. So do not do that. I don't recommend doing that. Especially for a person like me, I can't moderate what I eat and what I. So if I do that, where I have like once a week where I eat whatever I want, then every time when I'm out shopping, maybe the next day or the day after that, when I see something, I will just get it, just because I can't moderate it. It's like the frame inside my brain is broken, right? And if the frame is broken, I'll just take anything and eat it, right? Or maybe at work someone brings cake or something, and then I will just like eat it because it's there. So don't do that. I highly recommend not doing that. But this was a very good video, and I really gotta say that, like, for a person like Joe Rogan to try this, it is quite important for the carnivore diet and the movement in itself. And it kind of tells the story of how this all started. And it's about 4 years ago when people kind of started catching on a little bit. some doctors got into it, and we started seeing Dr. Ken Berry, we started seeing Anthony Chaffee, we started seeing all the people joining in. So yeah, that was pretty good, man. So let's talk about all the things that we just saw here. So we will switch back to the other overlay here. Let me go. And yeah, let's start. Okay, so let's take a look. So we had a lot of stuff, a lot of good information here, a lot of good stuff to go through. First off, the title of my video is going to be 5 months versus 1 month on carnivore diet. It keeps going. So essentially, he has done 1 month at that time in that video. And I didn't really follow up on his videos, which I probably should have done. I don't think I did. Maybe I did actually. Let me see. Did I actually follow up on it? I'm not entirely sure. I actually didn't follow up on him. That was just good enough for me, and then I was like, yep, I'm doing the right thing here. So at this point I'm already on the carnivore diet when I started here, and this just reinforced everything that I had been told. And I was just doing super good. Like, I was aware of the toilet issue. Let's just say that. And I had experienced some issues with it. And when he mentioned the coffee thing, I was like, yeah, that's probably my issue. And then I stopped coffee for a few days, and it actually helped a lot. So definitely, there's a lot of good things here. So he also talks about get healthy, and is workout and moderation needed. So this is right in the beginning, right? So by the way, guys, the link for his video is down below, and you guys can go check it out and see the full video. It's quite good. I would highly recommend it. He draws a few conclusions that are not correct, and I kind of cut them out of this video. But most of it is pretty good. Most of the things that I showed are correct and are pretty good, except for a few things that we're going to talk about here. So is working out necessary? I would always recommend working out once a week. Your body's like a diesel car. You need to go clean your filter once a week and just get your pulse up and, feel good, feel great. But it's not necessary. It's not required. Your body will still move towards its perfect weight and its perfect build if you only eat fat and meat, especially if you're doing lion diet. But the lion diet is like the hardcore version of a carnivore diet, right? So carnivore diet is a little bit more lax because you can eat cheese, you can do dairy, cheese is a dairy, but you can do dairy, you can do eggs, and you can eat all those things, right? So that's a little bit easier to do. I just learned how to make bread out of pork grinds, eggs, and butter. I did not know you could make bread out of that, but yeah, it's a thing. You can check the playlist out on my channel. I have added a recipe playlist, so you guys can see that on my YouTube channel if you guys are interested. But moderation is not needed because your body will take care of it. If it doesn't use it, which by the way, if your body takes in meat and fat, it will use about 95 or to 99% of it, or 98%. And you'll only poop a little bit. You only go a little bit on the toilet, right? It won't be as insane as it is when you eat plants and carbohydrates. So yeah, it's gonna be way easier for your body. But if there's anything that the body can't use, it will just flush it out of the system. So you don't need to worry about moderation. In actual fact, if you have something next day that you need to do, I would recommend overeating a little bit. Just like making sure you get like a good amount of meat. In my case, where I am 5 months in, I can easily eat 700 grams of meat, and for my one meal a day, right? I do one meal a day, and then I have a little bit in the evening. But this time I did. I've been losing a lot of weight, right? So I'm not as overweight anymore as I used to be. So I ate my normal meal of 400 grams for my dinner. And then when I got home, I was like, I feel like I'm a little bit low energy. So I'm just going to eat a little bit more. And then it turned into a lot more. And I went for like 700 grams of meat and just like it increased my energy level almost immediately after I had eaten. It started giving me energy, and my body started warming up. I also want to mention that it is extremely cold in Denmark right now, and we had a cold day at the office and all that. So I had a bit of a rough day. I was tired mentally, but after eating that food, my brain just activated, and all my energy was back, and I felt great. I could do things again. I could work. I could do all the things that I was missing out on, and get ready for what I had prepared next day. So it can help if you feel low energy. It's probably because you need more fat. So eat a huge amount of food, and as long as it tastes good, you should be okay with eating it. And even though it was 700 grams, which is a lot for me, I don't usually eat that much. It still tasted good all the way through. So my body definitely needed the meat. I could probably have eaten more, which is kind of wild to think about. But as you lose weight, your body will need more and more fuel as you go. And you will notice that, like, if you don't adjust how much you eat, you will start losing weight very fast. And it can be a little bit unhealthy for your body to lose weight too fast. So just be a little bit careful with that. Just try to eat enough. That's my advice, at least. So yeah, but moderation is definitely not needed. You just eat until it stops tasting as good, right? Your tongue will tell you when you need to stop with the meat and fat, and then you just stop, and then you're good, and you're good to go. You don't need to worry about moderation. That's a carbohydrate issue. It's not a fat issue. Foods and inflammation, sugars. So one of the biggest inflammatory things that you can eat is sugar, unless you have like a adverse reaction to something specific, like a plant thing, like a carbohydrate. Sugars will be the most inflammatory thing that you eat, and cutting sugars is probably the most important thing on a carnivore diet. You can eat certain carbohydrates, and it's not too bad, but it's still bad, I guess. But it's not as bad as sugars, especially starches, which are the most complex sugar crystals. If you eat those, you will feel horrible, especially if you haven't eaten sugars for a while. If you accidentally eat some of that, your body will react quite severely to it. You'll get like mood swings, or at least I do. I get mood swings. My stomach hurts. My stomach hurts, and I'll get like I can get like I can feel my back. It isn't like a pain, but I can feel that it's like uncomfortable. And it's just terrible, man. So I stay away from sugar. Also, my skin will start getting I think it's called like like you'll start getting skin issues, and my skin will start looking badly. Like the next day I will have like certain things that I need to remove, right? Because of the sugar just immediately reacts with my skin. Also your teeth, it will probably also react with your teeth almost immediately. So yeah, sugar is probably worse than people are aware of, and it's kind of it was a big addiction for me. Like I was super addicted to sugar, and it was one of the most difficult things for me to get rid of. But as we always say, if it's worth doing, no, if it's difficult to do, then it's probably worth doing. Yeah, it's one of the most important things for me as a huge sugar addict or former sugar addict, to just cut the sugar, get rid of it, and get better. That's what I would say. So he says that after he cut carbohydrates, there are no crashes anymore. So you don't get energy crashes, right? So when you're on fat, your energy is like this. It just keeps going until you have to sleep. When you are on carbohydrates, specifically sugar, your energy levels will do like this, and you might end up eating 4 or 5 times a day and having like a ton of snacks and shit that you don't need. And this is because of your sugar insulin. So whenever you eat sugar or sugars, it spikes your insulin, and this changes your body's hormones and all that. So, and it will give you mood swings and all that bad stuff. So you need to cut sugars for sure. Other carbohydrates are not as bad, but they can still have an impact on it. So you become way more settled in your way of doing things. You can control your emotions better. You can control your emotions better, and you can you can what is it? You can essentially have a better control of any situation you're in. So that's essentially what it happens. There are other benefits long term that I will talk about here. Like for me, cutting sugars, my brain fog disappeared. Like I'm way more aware of things around me. My eyesight has gotten better, which is weird. It's not, if I take my contact lenses out, I still can't see as good, but I don't see as bad anymore. And I am faster at reacting. My reaction time is better. My memory is better. So whenever I see something, I actually remember it. And there's so many things that just changes with it. But a big thing for me as a man is that I can control my emotions. They are not in control of me. I can control them, and I can strive to do better. I can set a good example for other people, and then we have all the psychological impacts that also are part of this. For me specifically, it's easier to talk. I always had like a lot of fears. I had a lot of fear of talking to a lot of people in a room. I had issues with like confronting people with issues, or like confronting people with certain things that I needed, or like just going and talking to people, taking the phone, calling people. I had issues with that, and that's a big deal in my work. I need to do that in my work, and it's a daily function. This carnivore diet helped me so much in that regard. It made it way easier for me to do these things. So it just made everything so much better. And now I'm the one in control. I get a way better impact for it, and people don't look at me like I'm an emotional wreck anymore, right? They look at me like I'm a person that has my shit together, and it's so important especially as a man. But I would imagine that for women it's also important, but it's probably in other aspects, because women are way more sorry, this is gender roles. We don't need to talk about that too much, but women have a different role to play. So for them it's different. It might be more rooted in reacting to the man that they are with, like how they do their family duties and all that. I think there's more to that. So saying that it impacts males more than females might be wrong. It just impacts in a different way, I think. But for me, this is huge. Like, this has done a lot of good for me. It has made me actually progress in my daily work and become better at my work, which is very important to me, so I can, make better money and set my family up better and all that. So very important. Weight loss is big too. Like, as I have talked about a lot on this channel, it definitely helped you with weight loss. If you are trying to lose weight, carnivore diet is definitely the diet for you. Even if you can only do it to like 80%, it will help you a lot. It will definitely help your body, especially if you're heavily overweight. I did say before that, like, you need to adjust the food that you take in if you are starting to lose a lot of weight. But if you are heavily overweight, you have like a lot of fat on you. It is okay to lose a lot of weight fast. Like, I have lost almost 20 kgs now. I'm at 19 kgs, kilograms. And in the beginning, I did lose weight faster than I'm losing it now. But I'm trying to adjust it so that I lose like half a kilogram every week, so that my body can keep up with it, and my skin also can keep up with it, because that's very important. If you are heavy, like very heavy, if you lose weight too fast too, you might have skin issues. So just keep that in mind, that you might need to adjust it in some way. But yeah, that's another thing. But you will definitely lose weight. That's for damn sure. Like, Joe Rogan is 100% right. You will definitely lose weight, and it's a very good way of getting rid of your diabetes and stuff like that too, because you should not be eating sugar, right? So it will not be an issue for you. You'll have a much better life. Recommendation and elimination diet. So yeah, you can say that the carnivore diet is an elimination diet, but for me it has become more of a human diet than anything else. I mean, it is an elimination diet in the sense that you eliminate all the carbohydrates, but I just, when I started this diet, I was going to do it for 3 months, and I said to myself, actually I was going to do it 1 month, right? And I said to myself, Hopefully I don't have to do this all my life. This is just going to be a temporary thing. And then when I got to 1 month, I was like, I'm going to do this for another 2 months because people say there are good benefits, and they were definitely right. But I set the goal of another 2 months, and I reached the 3-month mark, and I was like, my God, this is so much better. And whenever I smell bread and sugar and stuff, I go like, oh, that's not great. That's not human food. So I'm like, okay, so this feels more to me like I can easily do this for the rest of my life without any issues. As long as I have my cheat days, my birthday, which is in the summer, by the way, my birthday, Christmas evening or Christmas Eve, and New Year's. If those 3 days, if I have those days, I should be fine with this. It's not going to be an issue for me. I'm going to figure out other ways to get like foods that I like. I'm going to start experimenting with carnivore recipes and figure out what I want to eat. The thing about meat is that like you have so many different cuts on the animal, especially on a cow, that you could get different meats or every day of the week easily. You could probably get different cuts of meat every day in the month. I'm not entirely sure about that, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that like there's a lot of different things. So you can, and every cut of meat is a different taste and different texture, and it's amazing. So I would, you can easily get different things to eat. It's not a big deal. It's just always meat, right? Sometimes I also eat some pork, and that's pretty nice. I'm not the biggest fan of all the pork cuts, but I do like the oh god, what is it called in English? Mørbrad, like that's the Danish way of saying it, mørbrad. Let me see. Let me just look that up really quick. Mørbrad in English. Tenderloin. Okay, tenderloin. There we go. So tenderloins are really good, like pork tenderloins are super cheap in Denmark, and they are really good. And I really enjoy that because it's such a nice clean cut of meat. And then you just add some butter to it and it just becomes super delicious. But yeah, there are a lot of different cuts that I would recommend. But yes, I would say that like if you're looking for a diet where you remove everything except the basic stuff to survive, and then want to add things in again, it's definitely a good elimination diet, right? So potentially I could start adding things in again when I reach my 6 month here. But I don't think I want to do that. I'm feeling so much better that I don't want to do it. But that's just me. If you want to do that, that's totally fine. You should go ahead and try it. And also like but do one thing at a time. Like do potatoes for 1 month, see how that works. If potatoes are bad for you, cut it out again, try something else, you know. Stay reasonable with your experimentation and do it for a while so you know that it's not causing you troubles. Because if you start adding one thing and then you're like, oh, that's fine, and then you add another thing, and then the first thing starts being an issue, and you're like, oh my God, what the hell's going on? So this must be the second one. You cut that one and it's still an issue, and you're like, what is going on? Maybe I can't do anything. Then it will kind of ruin the experiment for you, right? So be a little sensible with it, and yeah, it's definitely a way of doing it. He talked about supplements. He took supplements while doing this diet. So the thing is, when you eat meat, especially cow meat or ox meat, you'll be getting about 80 to 90% of the minerals and vitamins that you need. And if you eat organ meat, you get all of them. So there's no reason to take supplements while doing this. But there's nothing wrong with being a little bit careful. Just be very sure that you're not taking a supplement that has some kind of a plant in it. You can get capsules that are from cow organs. So those are definitely an option if you want to do that. I do actually take a cow organ supplement pill in the morning because I'm not the biggest fan of liver and heart. But I've just learned a little trick that you can do. You can, when you get your ground meat, you can get the butcher to grind in some liver or heart organs, and you can't you almost can't taste it, and it's kind of nice actually. So that's one way to get the vitamins that you need. Eat that 2 times a day and you'll be fine. There are a few exceptions to this, and that's why you kind of need to get the electrolytes. There are some vitamins that you only get from fish, and if you don't eat enough fish, then electrolytes is probably the best bet. We used to get these from the rivers and the water wells that we had naturally, but because these are not exactly where we're getting our water from anymore, and some companies are like taking the water and like removing the needed nutrients or like vitamins or whatever it is, like electrolytes. Yeah, you probably need to do like an electrolyte powder once a week or something, because it will help you. And also you need salt. You need to get enough salt in your food. Just make sure that you put a little bit of salt on your meat every day and you should be fine. But it definitely will help. Those are probably the supplements or the things that you need instead of supplements. It is a little bit sad that you need to take electrolytes just because our drinking water is not that good anymore. And I think it should be illegal to like remove that from the water when you sell the water and the electrolytes separate. I think that should definitely be a law. There's some kind of a evil company thing going on here that I'm not entirely sure where that started, but I see Nestle making a lot of electrolyte powders, and I also see them selling drinking water, and I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, you guys are really making money, aren't you? You bastards. So yeah, that's definitely just mentioning one of the companies, but there's a ton of those companies. It's not only that one, but there's a ton of them, and I think someone needs to look into that, because that is definitely a little bit too hard on the capitalistic side. I think that's too much. That should not be allowed. So just saying that right here. But yeah, when you're on the let's move on here. So when you're on the carnivore diet, you need a lot of fat. It's your body's only fuel. It's definitely something that you need to be aware of. So if you're eating meat that is too lean, then you need to add fat. You can do it by adding butter. Ghee is good too. Ghee, ghee. Very good, and it tastes amazing too. Should be able to get it in your supermarket or wherever you are. I would recommend though, when it comes to getting started on the diet, the first step is actually starting. That's the most important one, and then actually easing into it. Like start slowly and then move into it. Some people have a better way of doing it by just jumping directly into it and just going cold turkey. But then you do need to watch out for the oil spring or whatever is that, like the oil rig thing with the toilet. And you do have to be aware of the carnivore flu might hit you a little bit harder, which you can just get rid of by drinking electrolytes and a lot of salt. Like take salt into water and then drink it. It tastes horrible, but it will help your body. It doesn't actually taste that horrible though. It just tastes like salt water. It's totally fine. How is 5 months compared to 1 month? So when I look back at the 1 month mark, I had a lot of benefits. It was quite good actually. I really benefited from continuing the diet. The first month though was quite good. I wasn't expecting it to continue, but then when I kept doing it, and it was like 1.5 months, it started getting even better and even better and even better. I got more and more energy. I became more and more clear in my mind. Any pain or anything I had in my body just went away. My stomach completely started working in a different way. I don't get hungry in the same way that I used to. And my body started being better at just like managing my sleep. That's also a big thing. Like I started sleeping way better. I had like a nice night of sleep, and now I wake up like 10 minutes before my alarm clock, and I'm like awake. I jump out of bed, get my clothes, and get going, and I'm in such a good mood. My mood is improved greatly too after the 1 month. I think what else? My teeth kept improving. My skin has improved a lot since then. Like my skin, it took like almost 3 months completely for my skin to clear up completely. But it's so much better now that I'm scared of going back. I'm scared of accidentally eating sugar and falling into a pit hole again. And I really don't want that to be a thing. So just the fear of having bad skin and bad teeth keeps me away from the sugar, which is kind of weird. And also having stomach aches also keeps me away, right? So yeah, and I just feel great. So I hope that Joe Rogan kept going. And I'm kind of sad that I didn't check in on his later videos and actually see if he did keep going. I think I might actually do that after this video, just see how it went for him. But yeah, I've definitely the experience that I had with it is that it keeps improving, and it's still improving to this day. I'm still getting more and more improvements out of it. My mind is becoming way better still, and yeah, I'm just like, sometimes, some days, I feel like I just want to run, go outside and run, even though it's like freaking cold and everything. I do stop myself because I open the door and then the cold hits me in the face, and I'm like, maybe we'll just wait until summer. And then I kind of stop a little bit. But sometimes I do actually go out and I go to the shop or something, and I pick up some meat, and then that's a pretty good run or walk. Actually, it's right around the corner here, so I just have to head over the street and then over the other street, and then it's right there on the corner. So yeah, it's not that far away. It's pretty easy for me, but it's something that I never did before, and I enjoy it so much more. I also I'm getting more and more ready to just like go outside more, do things with my friends and all that. So all these barriers that I had before are getting removed one at a time, and there are barriers here that I didn't know I had that are still getting removed to this day. And hopefully, with maybe when I've done this a year, I will have removed all the barriers, and I will actually be able to like create new goals that are even further out in the distance. My arm just disappeared. Oh my god. Okay, well, further out in the distance, right? So I might be able to do way more things than I thought I could. And I'm a little bit afraid that that's why they serve us bad food, because they don't want us to do that. just saying. Let's see, what else do we have here? Yeah, so your stomach reacts to more fat, and that's why you can have the toilet issues. We already talked about this. Coffee does make it worse, definitely. So if you're drinking a lot of coffee, just never expect a fart. Always expect you have to go to the bathroom. That's my advice, and I would highly recommend following it. just so you guys understand that will happen in the beginning. But after 2 weeks, this will become a non-issue for sure. Did I have any fallbacks on that? I think whenever you the one thing that I did notice, and this is kind of a weird thing, I don't fart anymore. Really, like it's either nothing or go to the bathroom. That's it. You don't experience bad stomach issues like that anymore, which also makes it so you're a nicer person to be together with. You don't have to fart all the time, which I would expect is a better thing. So I think that comes from the carbohydrates. They're probably creating a lot of gas in your stomach, and it's not supposed to be there, and your stomach just can't handle it, right? So yeah, I think that's another thing that has become a lot better. You need to stay away from sweets like ice cream. We already talked about that. Set deadlines for your diet. This is a good idea to do. We also touched on it earlier, but it's very important to set deadlines on your diet. So for me, it was, I'm going to do this for 1 month, but I'm going to take 2 weeks before I start, where I slowly adjust my food so that I do this in a slow and controlled manner. So I went from 30% meat to 70% meat. Actually, 60% meat, 70. I think it was about 70% meat. And then I slowly excluded the things that I needed to exclude until I started the carnivore diet. I put a like thing in my calendar, which was the 27th of let me see. Oh god, it was on the 27th The 27th of December, no, September, sorry, September. I think that was the month where I started. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Wait, that's not right. Dude, I just looked at the numbers, man. Oh, yeah, it is right. Yeah. 27th September. That's when I started the carnivore diet. I just thought I started earlier. Did I not start earlier? Let me see. Oh, I did. August, right. Yeah, August. Started on the 27th August. It was like a Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Yeah, 27th August. That's when I started. And I said to myself, okay, I'm doing the carnivore diet now. I am at 90% meat, and I'm cutting the rest of it. And then, not 90% meat, but 90% carnivore, right? So I had cheese, I had cheese and eggs and milk and stuff that I ate also. I've kind of excluded. Also, it was lactose-free milk, just so you guys know. Very important because lactose is a sugar. So strive to get the lactose-free milk. But then I was eating only meat and fat for dinner, and that's it. So yeah, that's when I started my carnivore diet. I did a 2-week warm up to that, and then I started. And then when I got to my 1 month, I reevaluated what I had experienced. So I did when a goal has been reached, reevaluate and set a new goal. So I sat down and I sat down in a chair. I actually sat down on my sofa, but that's another thing. I sat down on my sofa with some nice chill water, and I just started thinking and writing all the benefits down on a piece of paper. I was like, these are the benefits, these are the bad things, right? The non-benefits, I guess. And then I started writing. And as soon as when I was halfway through it, I had 7 benefits and I had 1 minus. And the 1 minus was that I couldn't eat out in the city anymore because there's all sorts of oils and bad foods that my body can't handle. So I just was like, is that a game breaker for me? And I was thinking, no, that's definitely not an issue that I have. That's not an issue I even would consider compared to all these benefits. And then I continued doing all that. At the end, I had, what was the other one? I had a few minuses. I don't think I have it right here. I had a few things that were minus, but it was such small things that it didn't really impact compared to the 25 pluses that I had experienced. And those things are the things that I have mentioned here, right? Some of them. And I decided for myself that, okay, this is so good that I am not going to stop at 1 month. I'm going to continue this 2 more months and see how it goes. And I am super happy that I did this because now I know that I keep improving. Even now, after 5.5 months, I am still improving on this diet. And I'm super happy. I have never been so happy in my life, actually. It's wild to think back on, and it's wild to realize that my potential could have been better if I just had eaten the right food earlier. If I hadn't listened to the stupid food pyramid and all that shit. And it makes me angry in a way, but it also makes me super happy that I figured it out before it was too late, before I died of diabetes or cancer or whatever else would have happened because of the sugar and all that. Because cancer lives on sugar. That's how you find sugar in the body. You squirt some sugar inside your body, and then you follow the sugar until it connects with the cancer. So yeah, cancer lives on sugar, and I think it's way worse than people understand. And cancer happens because you experience inflammation, and sugar creates inflammation. So it's a double whammy. It's really bad, man. And that's why I think personally, sugar is way worse than people are aware of. So please, I hope that people are listening that this is stop eating all the sugar and stop feeding your children. I get so mad when people feed their children sugar. And I've tried to help my family too, but they don't want my help. So I'm just gonna, leave them at that. But it makes me mad, and it makes me sad that people are not understanding this. The last thing I have here is disagree on having a cheat day a week, cannot moderate. Yeah, so that's the thing that I mentioned. I think you should do the diet correctly. And in my case, I can't have a cheat day. So I would stay on the diet completely and then maybe have a cheat day 3 times a year. That's okay. I think that would be okay. And if you fall off the wagon with carnivore diet, you just jump right on again. You don't even look back. You accidentally ate something, or you were like, holy shit, that's a bag of Gibbles, and you ate it. You just throw that bag out. You just, move on, start again next day, and continue going. Get on the wagon immediately. There is no issue in that. The issue becomes if you do it every week. That's where the issue starts being addiction again. And you should not do that. You shouldn't addict yourself to sugars once a week, because most people cannot do that. Like if I did that once a week, then I would completely fall off the wagon and just die in sugar, because I had a huge sugar addiction, and I would not be able to do that. So I would recommend just completely cutting the sugar, have 3 cheat days a year, and that's it. In emergencies, like if it's really too difficult and you need something, you could do it once a month. I think that would be better, or maybe once every 3 months. The longer you can extend this, the better it is. Like the longer you can go without it, the better it is. But I can understand why some people would think that they would eventually just break and fall off. But your body doesn't work like that. It just doesn't, because your body is super happy with the meat and the fat. And you will lose within like 3 weeks of my carnivore diet. I lost all the addiction to sugar almost completely. I didn't think about it unless I saw something. I didn't think about it, and I didn't have the need. But you have to get over that point in the beginning. And if you have a cheat day every week, you're never going to get over that point. So I highly recommend just cutting it completely until you get rid of the addiction, and then you might be able to experiment with cheat days. But I would make them few and far between them. That's my advice, guys. I hope you got something good out of this video. I'm gonna go eat some more delicious meat and fat. And I've been Jack Shepherd, and this is Carnivore Better Life. Please like and follow and subscribe and all that good stuff. And I will see you guys later. Bye bye.